That was what I was wearing yesterday. Sorry. My Twitch is me from yesterday. There we go. We're live on Twitch. YouTube always drags. Hmm. Give me 1 second. Just getting us live.
You know that paper is more sophisticated now than computers. You know that paper is more sophisticated now than computers.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Oh, I didn't realize it was mute. And thank you for subscribing so much. I appreciate it. Gotta make sure. Oh, yeah. Let me pin this. I set the goals right? Yep. Okay. Just making sure. I did this like hours ago. Sometimes it resets. Um, Wait, did I pin it? Give me 1 more second. Sorry, my brain is all over the place. I've just been reading some very disturbing news. I was waiting for my iCloud to update.
You know that paper is
Ugh,
more
do you know
sophisticated now than computers.
Todd Blanche, Trump's defense attorney from the Stormy Daniels trial, that he made the second in charge of the DOJ because he's a corrupt weirdo? He just met with Ghislaine Maxwell and her attorney again for the second day in a row. Like it wasn't even a one-time thing. They just met again right now. Nothing. I mean, no point. And I'll show you this clip. I'm just waiting for like the second one because I found a short clip, and then I found an even longer one of Fox News talking about this, and they're just straight up saying like, yeah, she wants a pardon. A child S trafficker would like a pardon. Wait, where's my gift goal? Hold on. Did I mute something? Just sorry. I don't understand what happened to my gift. Okay, where's there we go. Sorry. And pin. Okay, got it. I know, I know. I also was I was clipping Trump's creepy little press conference this morning where he just starts throwing out other names of three PDOs to try to distract from himself being in the Epstein files. It's like none of that doesn't make you guilty. It makes it worse. It makes it worse that you're like, oh well, these guys were spending the night over there. How do you know that? you you weirdo. Like it's worse. Like he's just like, yeah, it's not that at least I didn't, I was just all up in the Epstein files, and now we have all of these witnesses who have come out who are being named by the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal and are all over CNN saying that Trump, essayed them in the presence of Epstein, and he's all up in the Epstein files, and instead of denying it, Trump's like, well, this guy essayed more people than me. It's like, what? Like, oh, worry about these other three PDOs. Like, what? How about we worry about all of you? Wait, hold on. What's going on here? You think I'm just here to rant? I'm a historical researcher. I do a show 5 days a week where I present research and facts. I don't know. Like, this is not like whatever you think you're doing here, it's not happening. I will just, if you say idiotic things and distract people, I'll just block you. I just want to be clear. Like, whatever you think you're about to do, or like, something that other people don't. Yeah, I mean, I just read 100. I didn't sleep on Thursday or Wednesday night because I read 160 pages of BS of a fake conspiracy and 160 pages of documents released by the White House and Tulsi Gabbard that said, actually, the only thing it did clear up was every single thing Trump said about voting machines and how we needed to move to paper ballots was a lie. He keeps me. Does somebody who's all up in the do child s traffickers keep me up? Yes, I think it's creepy. It doesn't bother you. So yes, I do think people that abuse children, it should bother a lot of us. I think people credibly accused of SA and grape. I think people who unanimously were found liable of SA by a jury of their peers should be held accountable. See, this is how I know, Taco Cat, that you can't read or do math. And most importantly, like my favorite is because I know that conservatives don't give a shit about women and children. That's a joke because mathematically you don't. We know that because of statistical analysis. But the funniest part is you've been robbed by Donald Trump and you are too stupid to read and do math and figure that out. And you're here thinking, I'm the smart one. You're an idiot who can't read or do math. And the fact you're here, literally just next time, raise your hand and say, Hi, I can't read and I can't do math. Like, that's what you mean to say. Like, defending someone who robbed you. Like, that's like you were home invaded and then you're like, Hey, I'm going to give this home invader a Andrew Jackson instead of calling the cops. That's you. No, you didn't spell it right, sir. You didn't spell it right. You can't spell either. Jesus Christ. God. Oh my God. Just give up, sir. You can't spell either. Lord God, just save us from these people's idiocy. This is why we're all being robbed. These people can't spell, they can't read, they can't do math, and then they're talking to me like something's wrong with me. Jesus Christ. Hold on, I've got to get some water. I ran 10 miles.
You know that paper is more sophisticated now than computers.
In all caps, I can't read and I can't spell. Hi. It's like, Jesus, Lord God, help us or help these people. This is the kind of person that's like, we won. Oh, what did you win? If you could do math, you would know that you've been robbed, but you still think you won. And that's how we know you're stupid. We are doomed. We are doomed. These people couldn't find their way out of a paper bag to save their lives. And they're talking to us. This is a group of people who can read. I know Cosmo. Cosmo's an idiot. Sorry, Cosmo. No offense, but you're not very smart. Like, okay, sorry. I'm just waiting for the iCloud to update. Oh yeah, I forgot. While I'm doing that, let me show you guys something. I put something in the Discord about this last night. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't read your last thing you wrote. I thought I had already muted you. This is not a debate live. Like this is not where stupid people who think they have something to say request and then they're let into the live, sir. So yeah, you can request. Nobody's letting you up anywhere. This is where people who can think and read and do math gather together and talk about your stupidity. This is not debating. We're not debating. Not you, Cosmo. Actually, I don't mind you. You're not. But seriously, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Taco Cat. But seriously, this is the people's receipts. We are going to talk about the news. I'm not, this is not weird Taco Cat defends child S trafficking time. But thank you. Thank you for spelling a bunch of things incorrectly in all caps. We appreciate it. Please leave. Sorry, I'm just reading some text messages. I just show everyone this. I put it in the Discord yesterday, but does everyone remember that documentary that came out like a couple years ago? It was called Shiny Happy People, and it was like about the Duggars. Well, Season 2 came out, not so much
You know
about,
that
it's not about
paper
the
is more
Duggars anymore.
sophisticated
It's
now than
about like
computers.
1990s like evangelical Christianity. I could only get through like 45 minutes before I had to shut. It's so triggering. It's the most if you went to Christian school or like evangelical camp, oh my God, it is the most triggering thing in the world. I don't know why. I'm
You
only
know that
halfway through
paper
like
is
one
more
episode because I
sophisticated now
physically
than
can't take
computers.
it. Oh, it's hits very close to home. I was like shaking watching the first episode. It's like all the Christian music, you know. It's the most triggering thing ever. It's called, I have it right here. Well, it's Shiny Happy People season 2. It's called A Teenage Holy War. It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon Prime. It's like the second season. The first season of Shiny Happy People is about the Duggars. So yeah, I just thought, I mean, it's very triggering. If you went to like private Christian school or like evangelical youth group or summer camp, you're gonna be like, it makes me itch thinking about what I was watching yesterday. It's horrible. But let's get to I have to show you guys some things. I want to show you guys the last thing I just clipped right now because the iCloud finally updated. That's what I've been waiting for. Which
You know that
I
paper is more
I'm not gonna.
sophisticated now than
Oh God, this
computers.
is just sickening. Okay, so you know how what is Todd Blanche, Trump's defense lawyer, went and had some secret meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell, and we already know, like even the Republicans that are voting for in the House specifically for the release of the Epstein files, they are saying, yeah, like we might have to give her a pardon or lessen her sentence. I don't think we should lessen the sentence of a child S trafficker. I think that's disgusting. I think if you just release the files, I don't really care what she has to say. Period. Oh yeah, pardon's on the table. So I just want to say that meeting yesterday, which I'll do more, I'll show more clips and cover this more in detail. I just want to show you like the last thing I just saw on Fox News. That's why I was waiting for the iCloud update. So this is part 2, I guess. Todd Blanche, Trump's defense lawyer in the Stormy Daniels case that they lost, did not just go there yesterday to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell secretly. He went again right now. And this is the report on Fox News just a couple minutes ago about it. That's what I want to. It's just a 2 minute. At first, I could only find like 40 seconds, and then I found 2 minutes. Just trying to. I need to unmute. I already know I do.
From Washington for us. So, David, what else did Maxwell's attorney say?
Well, he said a lot. We wish we could be in and hear what was said in the actual meeting. This meeting was a lot shorter than it was yesterday, but this was a 2-day event. The highlight, though, it appears that her team wants a pardon. Watch.
We're going to take one day at a time. I know that's very cliche, but it's true because things are happening so quickly. We haven't spoken to the president or anybody about a pardon just yet. And you know, listen, the president this morning said he had the power to do so. We hope he exercises that power in the right and just way.
But the president leaving the White House today was asked to.
I was trying to get this stuff
from Washington for us. So, David, what else did Maxwell's attorney say?
Well, he's
one day at a time. I know that's very cliche, but it's true because things are happening so quickly. We haven't spoken to the president or anybody about a pardon just yet. And you know, listen, the president this morning said he had the power to do so. We hope he exercises that power in the right and just way.
But the president leaving the White House today was asked directly about a pardon or commutation of Maxwell's sentence.
Would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell if
it's something I haven't thought about? It's really something
recommended.
It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
Sandra, this all happened at the federal courthouse in Tallahassee, not far from where Maxwell is serving a 20-year prison sentence behind bars for trafficking. The DOJ not commenting on the meeting today. Legal experts question whether Maxwell told and will tell her version of the truth going forward, the actual truth. Now, the recent photos we have snapped by Fox News Digital show her on a run at that Tallahassee prison. We're still awaiting decisions from 2 federal judges in New York who will decide if they'll release grand jury transcripts transcripts from investigations involving both Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. A Florida judge from another of Epstein's criminal cases says her hands are tied, as anything to do with the grand jury in the American court system is typically kept close and secretive. But he said, when I say he, I'm talking about Maxwell's attorney, he said we haven't reached out to anybody or the president just yet on a pardon. Back to you.
Got it. From Washington.
And okay, sorry, I'm just going to address comments. Like, first of all, you said Trump would be crazy to partner. I mean, yeah, I actually agree with that, Dale. I think Trump would be crazy to pardon her, but he's pardoned horrible people before. So, and it just depends. I think, like, whether or not Trump would pardon her is directly proportional, because we're not talking about her testimony like in the being subpoenaed and testifying in the House. That's not what we're talking about, right? Like, I think anybody who would even consider pardoning the only person who is being held accountable for a very much known child trafficking ring. Oh, and I forgot, I was going to take a screenshot of the documentary. Hold on, I'm going to look up the name again. I think it's currently, right now, you can watch it on Stars, I believe. I looked this up last night. I forgot to take a screenshot. Hold on. Let me just search. I think it's called Who is Ghislaine Maxwell? Yeah. I suggest, I mean, there's a Jeffrey Epstein doc on Netflix. There's ones all over, but this Who is Ghislaine Maxwell, it's right now on Stars. I recommend to watch that, because that's where, and I went back and looked at the available, like, what, oh my God, I almost said Joe Biden, not Joe Biden, Ron DeSantis released when he was trying to impress MAGA, when he was trying to primary Trump. Remember the grand jury testimony from the Palm Beach stuff? And yeah, like, under oath in court documents, like, it has many of these victims. I think Epstein paid out like 30 something victims, and then he had to register as an S offender and whatever. He got the biggest sweetheart deal of all time in the state of Florida. But in part of that deal is he had to, like, pay some restitution to people or whatever. And those people in court docs, children, the victims, when they were children, stated very clearly that Ghislaine Maxwell is a monster, that she groomed, trained them, on how to please Jeffrey Epstein, and also participated in the assaults at certain times with Epstein, like in I was gonna say a menage a trois, but that's not true, because that would be like in consenting, three consenting adults participating in that. So I just want to say, and that's why I'm suggesting, again, it's on Stars right now. It's called Who is Ghislaine Maxwell? Again, I've touched on this all week, that you gotta do the research into Ghislaine Maxwell. She comes from a very, very wealthy family her father was a creep. And it's very Freudian that she just kind of found Jeffrey and is like, oh yeah, like, I know the drill. I could do this. Like, this is just like my childhood. And, like, that's kind of how she ended up that way. And, like, Who is Ghislaine Maxwell has, like, a lot of her friends from the UK talking about it, and how she talked about it, and how it was, like, known what she was doing. But anyways, yeah, there are court documents where people are where the victims are saying, like, and there are documentaries where some of these victims are being interviewed and very clearly saying, do not feel sorry for that woman. She was complicit in everything, which I've talked about it. There are a lot of, like, trafficking cases. Like, when you talk about, let's say, kids in foster care, there's an extremely high percentage of children leaving foster care who are trafficked, right? And you start out in trafficking as a victim, and maybe to leave victimhood, you also sort of become an abuser or an aid to traffickers. And you can be both a victim, but once you cross that line, and you're now party to grooming, training, and also engaging in abuse with children, I'm sorry, but you are guilty, creepy weirdo. And this is not a situation of like someone that had no resources that's like trying to improve their position in a shitty thing. This is a very rich woman who had every resource in the world who decided to do this for decades. Like, the very idea that Newsmax's Greg Kelly is implying she is some sort of victim, it makes me physically ill. And I wanted to show, as long as we're kind of skipping around, I want to show another clip. I'm just trying to remember the order. Sorry, because I think, oh yeah, here we go. This was after Brian Baez made this after the first meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer, and he actually went and looked up because I did the same thing last night because I was like, I know I'm not crazy. Like I know I've read a lot of court documents where Epstein's victims are saying no, she was involved in all of the abuse. Like, do not feel sorry for this woman. Do not let her off. This is her fault too. Like, so, and he kind of included some of that.
Donald Trump is now setting the stage to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend.
Would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell if
It's something I haven't thought about. It's really something.
Recommended it.
It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
Anybody in their right mind would have said, no, I'm not pardoning that lady. Ghislaine Maxwell was Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend, who, by the way, victims testified under oath that she abused them with him. She was in many cases the architect who funneled young girls to Jeffrey Epstein. And by the way, was Jeffrey Epstein's beard, because a lot of people were like, oh, this man can't be the man that they say that he is. He's with this woman. He likes grown people, not underage girls. There are victims that came forward that testified under oath that said that she trained, schooled, and groomed them to give Jeffrey Epstein sexual massages. Those victims were on Jeffrey Epstein's island. Ghislaine Maxwell took their passports so that they no longer could be able to travel or escape. The victims then became prisoners of that island. Ghislaine Maxwell, when all was said and all was done, was sentenced to 20 years in prison for conspiring with Jeffrey Epstein to sexually abuse minors and sexually traffic them. And now Donald Trump is having the Department of Justice meet with Ghislaine Maxwell, who, by the way, after yesterday's meeting said that they had a very productive day meeting. And mind you, after that secret meeting with Trump's DOJ, Ghislaine Maxwell was seen carrying a mystery box back into the federal prison where she was at. The fix is in. She's about to get a pardon to say Donald Trump had nothing to do with anything. Donald Trump is...
Okay, yeah. And I want to also, because I just to make the point that like Epstein is not the only billionaire that has done this on this scale that we know of. If you've never heard, I don't know, if you've never heard of Peter Nygard and you really want to understand that, like, there's a lot of billionaires that were doing this shit. Like, he's another one. And I mean, like, not, I guess, not on a full island, on a key in the Caribbean. Yeah. Here's another one. It's called, if you've never heard of this documentary, like you will be physically ill. It's called Evil by Design, exposing Peter Nygard. Like, if you've never, well, Peter Nygard is technically like I think he's maybe a dual citizen of Canada, and US, but primarily a Canadian citizen. I think he might currently be in jail, but they don't have like the same type of punishments for this sort of thing. I don't even like. Actually, yeah, I think Peter Nygard's old though. He's been doing this since like the late 60s. Horrific. So I would like I just am pointing that out. Look up Peter Nygard. It's spelled Nygard. He did this for like 4 decades, like trapped women, imprisoned them, raped them. Horrific things for 4 decades. Like, oh, and I wanted to say that who is Ghislaine Maxwell? That's not just that's not one. Oh God, when I see Peter Nygard's face, I get physically ill. Ugh, yeah, he started in like the late 60s, but he only actually got charged for 11 sexual, essays and this was as of September 9th, 2024. Oh my God, he looks like a monster. He's 83. I think he is still in jail and still alive in Canada. But I just want to point out, like, this is not, if you think like, oh, this only Jeffrey Epstein's ever done this. This is the only billionaire who's like trafficking and doing horrific things to children and women. Like, no. They are not. So I just thought I would point that out. Again, if you want to look up the document Evil by Design Exposing Peter Nygaard, like he is just as a prolific of an abuser as Jeffrey Epstein. And then the other documentary I recommend, I think both of these are on Stars, is Who is Ghislaine Maxwell? Because if Trump is even considering pardoning her so she keeps her mouth shut, like that would be the most horrific thing I think could ever happen. Hold on. Sorry. Just let me get back to the beginning of my. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think what order I want to go in. I wanted to show some statistics. Why is this first? Oh, yeah. First, I wanted to show the numbers and then a clip because I missed this about South Park, right? You know, Harry Ent's the guy that does like statistical analysis and polling for CNN. I like his work. He was doing some, I love, if you don't know what Google Trends is, we use it in advertising and marketing all the time. Google Trends is a great tool to look up like trends on the internet searches, things like that. And I wanted to show the numbers that Harry Ent was talking about after that South Park episode aired.
Everyone's talking about it today. Look at the Google Trends. I mean, look, Donald Trump wants this to go away. He obviously hates South Park, but the American people are infatuated with the story. Look at this. Google Trends for South Park up 670% versus last week. It is the top topic searched with Donald Trump this afternoon. And I will note another person they one time put in bed with Satan was Saddam Hussein. Not exactly the comparison I think Donald Trump wants.
But that was the top two. When
you
Trump plus something is Trump plus South Park.
You got it exactly right, Aaron Burnett.
Wow. Okay. So the episode didn't just target Trump. It did go after its own parent company,
yes,
Paramount, over the merger that was just approved and what happened to Colbert. So that merger gets approved today. So this was last night. So just on the eve of it, they said this.
You guys saw what happened to CBS? Yeah, well, guess who owns CBS? Paramount. You really want to end up like Colbert? You guys gotta stop being stupid.
We can't understand you.
Just shut up, or we're going to get canceled, you idiots. If someone has the power of the presidency and also has the power to sue and take bribes, then he can do anything to anyone. It's the president, dude. All of you shut the up or South Park is over.
Okay, I guess maybe I know the answer to this, but who exactly is South Park talking to?
You know, I think one of the things that's so important to point out was that Stephen Colbert was despised by Republicans in this country. His net popularity rating was way underwater. But South Park is in this unique position. It doesn't just talk to Democrats, it actually talks to Republicans as well. Look at the net popularity rating with the GOP. South Park is actually on the positive side of the ledger compared to Stephen Colbert, who is way underwater at minus 35 points. South Park at this particular point running 37 points ahead of Stephen Colbert when it comes to the Republican Party, and therefore last night might actually be talking to some Republicans.
Which is fascinating and actually goes to the point of the White House saying that it's a fourth-rate show. Not even a third, it was a fourth. They say that it hasn't been relevant for over 20 years. Tell us something we don't know.
I'll tell you a few things that you don't know, Aaron Burnett. First off, it is the longest-running show in cable, at least among scripted shows. But more than that, obviously, we're in an era of streaming as well. And here's the thing that's so important. It's not just that South Park is the longest running. It's as successful in the streaming space. It is, at this particular point, a top 20 show on streaming. And that was before the season premiere. So I really would not be surprised if it jumps even further. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the top 10, especially given all of the situations going on with this particular program. There's nothing more that comedy writers like more than a little bit of drama and a little bit of controversy.
Oh, well, they've got more than a little. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you, everyone.
Someone asked about The Simpsons. The Simpsons is a network show, right? There's a difference between longest running cable shows and successful streaming show, and like The Simpsons is on network television and is syndicated. I mean, Simpsons money. There would be no South Park without The Simpsons, or no Family Guy without The Simpsons. Like, South Park and the Family Guy stands on the shoulders of giants, meaning the syndicated network show that is The Simpsons. Oh, is it on Amazon Prime? Thank you. Evil by Design, about Peter Nygard, the Canadian Jeffrey Epstein who's done this for 4 decades. I guess it's on Prime, so even better. You don't have to have a stars. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. So, okay, wait. I'm just trying to think. I want to trying to stay on topic. I want to show this clip I found right at the end when I was putting this together about South Park. Because when I was showing the South Park clips yesterday, I didn't show the clips, think about this. Comedy Central is owned by Paramount, right? Paramount is owned, or I mean, Comedy Central is owned by Paramount. CBS is owned by Paramount. Yesterday, right at the end of the live, the Skydance Paramount merger went through. It has been rumored that the billionaire shareholders and family that owns Paramount has been sucking up to Trump so that he would not hold up this merger, right? And that's part of the reason they got rid of Stephen Colbert. And I think Dale was talking about this, which is very true. I don't I didn't personally ever like Stephen Colbert on CBS. Stephen Colbert is like an opinionated person who I know, and he was not making money for that network. So that is a correct argument. It's not that that show was profitable for them or that time slot was making CBS money. Just to be clear, it's not like he was wildly successful in what he was doing. In my opinion, he's much better doing like what Jon Stewart does and what South Park, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, I almost said it backwards, are doing on Comedy Central, where they can be more politically opinionated and do whatever they want. Like when Stephen Colbert moved to CBS, I don't know. I don't think it really ever was. It was never generating revenue, anyways. But don't get me wrong, I absolutely think that those Paramount billionaires did that so Trump would let that merger go through. But I didn't show the clip because I didn't see it until today, where the South Park people were talking about Paramount and Skydance, which it's hilarious.
Break bread with me. This is my body, given for you. Do this in remembrance of me.
Now just eat the bread and listen. I didn't want to come back and be in the school, but I had to because it was part of a lawsuit and the agreement with Paramount.
The president's suing you?
The guy can do whatever he wants now that someone backed down, okay? Eat the bread, eat the bread. You guys saw what happened to CBS? Yeah, well, guess who owns CBS? Paramount. You really want to end up like Colbert? You guys gotta stop being stupid.
We can't understand you.
Just shut up or we're going to get canceled, you idiots.
Tom, they're calling it the Sermon on the Mount. Hundreds of South Park faithful are flocking to the area where Jesus Christ continues to speak his words of wisdom.
If someone has the power of the presidency and also has the power to sue and take bribes, then he can do anything to anyone. It's the president, dude. All of you shut the up or South Park is over. It's over. Just stop and shut the up.
So yeah, that was hilarious. David, if you don't think, or Dale, if you don't think South Park and what Colbert did on Comedy Central and The Daily Show have any correlation, then I don't think you understand the point of South Park. But just like that's what Harry Ent was saying, like people recognize Jon Stewart as political. They recognize Stephen Colbert is political, but for some reason Republicans are like, I love South Park. So don't tell them. No one explained what South Park is about to conservatives because apparently they have no idea. So I think it's great. Jesus, this chat is out of control. Hey, I'm sorry if I don't finish thoughts. Like, I just want to say hanging out and watching the people's receipts is voluntary. It is not compulsory if you don't like the way my mind works, and that there's a lot of information running around because I do like research for 5, sometimes 10 hours, and then I do this show and I feel very passionately about things. So if you don't feel I'm finishing thoughts or you don't like the way my brain works, just don't watch. Like nobody has to be here. Which is super confusing. Why people are like, I don't like listening to you talk. Are you under the impression you have to be here? Like, it's super strange if you are under the impression this is mandatory. It's not. Why can't I make this? Hold on. Something is wrong here. Why can't I make this side thing go away? Oh, there we go. Sorry. I've never had that happen. Oh, I did. I took screenshots. This is the documentary I was talking about on Stars. If you want to hear, like, this is where people from Ghislaine Maxwell's childhood, like her little rich, private school friends in the UK, and like some of her victims talk. If you have access to Stars, who is Ghislaine Maxwell? I think there's several episodes. It's a multi-part documentary that kind of gives some insight into why it would be absolutely disgusting to pardon her. Like, that's like, oh, so I'm sorry I traffic children, like, because I want, like, oopsies, I also was a victim. Like, is this where we are now in society where you could just say oopsie and then you don't get punished? I also, okay, and I do have all of these things. I want to go through Trump and the weird things he was saying this morning. I clipped all the important parts of, the weird, strange things Trump was saying this morning. But before that, I just want to say something, and I know we all know what's going on in Gaza. If you're unaware, there has been a blockade. There literally is no food or water going into Gaza. Occasionally, they let like a little bit, a tiny bit of food and water go into Gaza, and people are like stampeding, running for this food and water. And it seems like, according to, satellite images and things, that the IDF is essentially allowing aid to go in just a little bit, and then people are running for it because they're starving, and then the IDF is unaliving those people, is pew-pewing them. Like, that's what is happening. And this blockade has been going on. Journalists have been expelled from Palestine. If you aren't aware, this week, because, excuse me, there's been so much going on. I think I was talking about this with a couple of people, but I don't think I talked about it on this live, that Trump has essentially said they're stopping negotiations with Hamas. Remember, we had a ceasefire, but Trump said he was the no new wars guy. Now it's very clear that he is, in agreement with Netanyahu, that Netanyahu can attack every country in the Middle East, do whatever he wants, lie, obfuscate, give journalists no access. And this is going to sound weird because I so never agree with Piers Morgan on anything. Like, Piers Morgan drives me nuts sometimes. But okay, if someone gets something right, I am willing to like say, hey, I could not agree more. And I just want to acknowledge the absolute G-side going on in Palestine. I think it's ridiculous that if you have eyeballs and you can read and you understand that people are being tormented and starved to death and unalived, and we are literally witnessing a G-side in real time, that apparently now the talking point is you're anti-Semitic. I think that's delusional. So I never agree with Piers Morgan, but here, this is something I heard him say where I was like, okay, thank you for doing the right thing.
That is what I'm proud of.
It's amazing. Look, Shabos, here's the thing. Unfortunately, you sound like the people who have started to defend the indefensible when it comes to what Israel's government is doing. And I'll tell you why. After all these attacks on Palestinians as they're queuing up for food, the IDF says basically the same thing. Either they were firing warning shots, or they felt they were being threatened by some people, or they've launched an inquiry or an investigation, and we never get the results of any of this. But in the meantime, 1,000 people who are desperately hungry and are queuing for food, even though you say they've got plenty of food, there are thousands stampeding for the small amounts of food that they can get their hands on, even though you say they're not hungry because you've overfed them, right? That all these people are just dropping dead. And it's got nothing to do with the fact the IDF are firing towards them, when everybody knows it does. And this is the problem when you defend the indefensible. It would have so much more credibility if the IDF just once said, you know what, we did. We shot at them, and like you said, you're very proud of everything they're doing. And if they were to proudly own this and explain why they need to shoot starving people who are stampeding for fragments of food, maybe we'd all take a lot more seriously the other claims they make. And the other point I'd make, Showers, is when you now just tell me I'm talking nonsense and they're all overfed and no one's getting killed and it's all on Hamas. To this day, the Israeli government refuses to let any international media into Gaza. And it's not because of the quaint notion that they're worried about the safety of journalists, because they've killed over 200 Palestinian journalists. They don't care about the health and safety of journalists, and it's not their business to decide about the safety requirements of journalists. It's the business of the organizations that employ them. But until Israel's government allows foreign media into Gaza to verify its endless, in my opinion, utterly disingenuous statements, then no one should believe a word they're now saying. Because why should we? Why should we? Why should we believe what anything that the Israeli government is saying about any of this when they don't want the world's media to see it? After October the 7th, what was the first thing they did? They brought the world's media into the kibbutzes to see the full horror of what Hamas did to verify the truth. But they won't apply that same thinking to verifying the truth in Gaza. And as a journalist, I know why they don't want to do that. They don't want people to see the truth. They're hiding the truth. That enables them to lie with impunity and to discount any responsibility for anything they're doing. And if I sound angry about this, it's because I'm bloody angry about it. Because it's so obvious that they don't want people to see the truth. And you can sit here and you can say till you're blue in the teeth, there's nothing going on that's wrong. There's nothing to see here. It's all on Hamas. No one's starving anyone. No one's shooting anyone in food aids. No one's doing anything wrong. This is the most moral army in the world. Well, okay. So let the journalists in and we can see for ourselves just how true that all is.
That is.
I mean, I like someone in the comments. Sorry, I didn't see who wrote that, but yeah, even a broken clock is right twice a day. I disagree with Piers Morgan on a lot, but nailed it. Nailed it. Please stop gaslighting us. None of us are stupid. And you know when it's gotten bad is when Marjorie Taylor Greene is introducing amendments to stop sending weapons to Israel. Like, that's how bad it is. That Marjorie Taylor Greene's like, hey, maybe we should stop this. Like, what happened to No New Wars? Like, that's where we're at. Marjorie Taylor Greene's like, we should stop now. Like, this is unconscionable and unforgivable. I talked about this yesterday, but I just think we need to not lose sight. Bernie Sanders talks about this like every single day, which I appreciate. It's absolutely absurd that we are sitting here pretending like we are not all witnessing a G-side. Okay. Oh my God. I can't. I'm sorry. I don't want you to take this the wrong way, Dale, because I do have a soft spot since you've been stalking me the longest. But I can't listen to your idiocy today. Read articles. You have just literally said 5 things that are factually incorrect in like 10 minutes. You have no idea. You are very uninformed on this issue. I think you think it's a year ago, and you should read up on the latest news. Yeah, Dale had to go. Dale's on mute for the rest of the live. I'm sorry. I can't take any more of his idiocy. Dale, you have no idea what you're talking about. I can't believe you have suckers. Are you new, Steve? I have many. Faith. It's fine. I think it's cute. They're fine. Faith, thank you so much for the $25. Just tell him to F off. I appreciate your hard work. Yeah, quite honestly, I just want to say this. The MAGA men that like troll me and say mean things to me bother me a lot less than like the people who are in here telling me because my ADHD like they're annoyed listening to me. Like, I would appreciate if you are a leftist and you don't like listening to me talk because of my ADHD, don't come here. Like, it's super simple. That is way more hurtful. That I can't fix that. I can't fix that at all. That's much more hurtful than people who have no idea what they're talking about saying things in the chat. Like, period. Sorry. Thank you. That's a good point, Faith. Because truly, like, those people can't hurt me. Oh yeah, and I need to talk about this, and I know what's coming. Every clip I've went on 3 different social media platforms. I started to record and I was like, "Oh, this is just the sound system inside like the Texas State House or whatever's going on. That's what it is. This is not my sound. This is not my audio mixer. Every clip across the internet, the longer clips of this have this same scratchy noise. There's nothing I can do about it. But if you have not heard, oh, I know. It's so bad too. Because I know everyone's about to be like, it's scratchy. Like, what's that sound? Every clip that I went to Threads, I went to X, I went to Blue Sky. Because I was like, someone has to have a clip that doesn't sound like this. They all sound like this. So I love Isaiah Martin. He's a candidate for Congress out of, I can't remember the district, but Houston. Like, this man is a force to be reckoned with in Houston. I cannot wait for him to be elected and drive people insane in the House of Representatives. And you know how Texas, like I've been reporting for the last 3 weeks, how Trump, I mean, in fairness, it wasn't their idea. Trump has instructed Texas to get, to divide up more and make 5 more districts, like divide up the minorities in Texas and dilute those districts, make it harder for Democrats to get reelected and create 5 more Republican seats. Well, that, the special session is going on, and Isaiah Martin showed up and started screaming there. I heard did he get I was going to say Texas 18, but I wasn't sure. That's what I was thinking. Thank you. Texas 18, Isaiah Martin. If you don't know who this man is, follow him. He is absolutely amazing. Did they tase him though? Someone said that, I didn't read. I think, did they end up tasing him? I don't know. He was like fighting them in the hallway. Yeah, but no, I have the clip. I have the whole clip of them dragging him out and everything. I'm gonna say before everyone starts screaming in the chat that like something's wrong with this clip, it is the sound system inside the Texas State House. It is not me. All the clips, the full clips sound like this. It's not good, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Because the game is rigged. We already know this way the situation's going to be. Many of you that are Republicans that are looking at you guys understand the game. You got to get Trump's endorsement. That's the name of the game to be a Republican nowadays. And you know very clearly that Trump told every single one of you that he needs 5 seats. There will be a retaliation for that. You've seen states like California say that they will gerrymander Republicans out of their states. You see the same thing in Maryland. The same thing is going to happen in New York. While you were in here, Governor Kathy Hochul said that she will be gerrymandering Republicans out of their seats. The same thing is going to happen in New Jersey. So for all of the work that you guys see that you guys claim to be doing, when we should be talking about the fact that we live in a state that is unaffordable for people, our economy is wrecked, people cannot find good jobs, we literally have property taxes going up every single year, despite the fact that you Republicans have been in office for nearly 30 straight years. I mean, this is the game that we live in right here. And you choose, after we literally got after one of the worst mass casualty events in our state's history, to go and gerrymander people out of their seats. That's what you have chosen to do with your time, because you're scared of Donald Trump. You are scared and terrified because you're seeking an endorsement when you understand the truth. And the funny part about it is that you all know it's true. You can't react to it. I see you guys' faces. You can't react to it, but you all know what the situation is. Because Donald Trump runs this body. He runs your vote, he runs your vote, he runs your vote, he runs your vote, because you guys know that you cannot dare cross him. And ultimately, what we need...
This male Jasmine Crockett, like now we'll have Jasmine Crockett and this guy in the House. Get excited. Like, I cannot wait.
State are people that have the cojones to actually go forward and call this stuff out. And you can thank your failed, senile, dilapidated, Epstein partying with president for all of the work that we're about to do to every single one of you.
Thank you for your testimony.
You did this, you caused this, and this is the
witnesses-
result of you and your work. No, I'm not going to finish.
Witness's
because
time has
ultimately,
expired.
I'm not finished. Because ultimately, who doesn't have a say in this are the people of this state, the 40 million people that you guys just kicked
Witness
off
will come to
healthcare,
order.
The people of this state.
The witness
that are now
does
gonna
not-
have
the
to
witness
go
is not
without SNAP
recognized.
As a result of what you guys have done, this is a result of your policies. And you have no shame.
Okay.
You have no shame. None.
The witness-
Zero.
the witness-
You have no shame
Nope.
for what you've done. And I think that we all should be standing
No,
up here and signing
just cut off his mic. Cut off his mic. The sergeants are directed to remove the gentleman from the room.
History will not remember you kindly for what you have done. They will not. As a matter of fact, history might not remember you at all because of what you have done. It's horrific.
The gentleman
You
will
need
be
to have
removed.
shame. You need to have shame. History will not remember you for what you have done. It is a shame.
Members.
You need to have shame. History will not remember you for what you have done. It is a shame. It is horrific for what you have. Oh, shit.
Jesus, get over him!
It's horrific for what you have done. You should all be ashamed.
Yeah, okay, hold on. I'm going to try to pull up I think this is a news report on this that I just texted myself. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, I don't know why. I think maybe someone in the Discord saying he got tased, but I don't see that in the news when I just did a search. Hold on, let me pull up. I think this is a news report on it. Hopefully it's not just the clip again. Oh yeah, it is a news report. Hold on. Why won't this open? Okay, hold on. Keep tapping the screen. We're almost to 100K. Tap, tap, tap. I know it's Friday and we're all like over it. Believe me, I'm right there with golf ad. I'm not ever paying YouTube for no ads. So hold on. Okay.
A University of Houston graduate running for Congress is in jail after he was dragged out of the redistricting meeting in Austin yesterday. Isaiah Martin was speaking out against President Trump's calls to add more Republicans to Congress through redistricting.
You need to have shame. History will not remember you for what you have done. It is a shame. It is horrific for what you have.
Martin now faces misdemeanor charges of resisting arrest, criminal trespass, and disrupting a meeting.
Rose. Is that a Stephen Colbert clip? My algorithm is always on point. So someone asked, again, this is, he's running for Congress. He's not in Congress. He's running for U.S. Congress in the 18th District of Texas. Like you heard, he's a graduate of the University of Houston. Someone asked why I say he's like the male Jasmine Crockett, because he's a resistor, right? Like, I mean, Jasmine Crockett speaks truth to power in Texas. And I'm not saying so, as does Greg Casar, but I just think we don't have, there are Democratic reps in Texas. I'll say, what's the guy's name in the Texas State House that's always James Tallarico? That, if you don't know who James Tallarico is, follow that man too. He's like Pete Buttigieg reincarnated in Texas. I'm trying to think. I know I'm gonna like miss people, and people are gonna be like, "You're missing someone." But yeah, Isaiah Martin is amazing. Yeah, he did used to debate on TikTok. Like, I mean, this is anyone that's willing to show up, speak truth to power, and refuse to leave. Yeah, if you don't know who James Tallarico is too, I might do like a 15-minute presentation on that man. James Tallarico is brilliant. Follow him as well. I don't know. He needs to run for the U.S. Congress as well. Yeah, so if you don't know Isaiah Martin, people are saying he still debates. Yeah, I had to stop searching on TikTok for my mental health. So, like, I don't always know who's, but yeah, his name is Isaiah Martin. He is running for the 18th District of Texas. He is amazing. So, love that man. And apparently, at least it's only a misdemeanor. Like, because there were rumors they were going to try to charge him with a felony. So I didn't know. So I'm glad I found that. But again, sorry about the sound, but every clip on the internet sounds that bad. They need to get a new sound system in there. Ew. Sorry, my presentation closed to reopen it. I have a lot of things I want to show people. You know my thing about like we should sometimes I always say things and then I always like to get a white male to say them too. So people are like, oh yeah. Well, actually, and I'm sorry I can't remember who said this in the comments yesterday, but we were having a short talk about why would Rupert Murdoch, right, be telling allow, be on running Fox News Corp and profiting off all these lies, and that in the Wall Street Journal, like dripping all of this information about Trump and Epstein. And I was talking about how, the MAGA base watches Fox News and Rupert Murdoch makes an unbelievable amount of money and profit off the Fox News Corp lies, or what they call entertainment news. And then the Wall Street Journal, right? That's a very serious publication. So MAGA's not reading that, right? And I think it's about audience. It's also about like this billionaire's distaste for Trump. Rupert Murdoch backed DeSantis in the primary, if you didn't know that. When DeSantis was trying to pull Trump's base out from underneath him, he was funded by Rupert Murdoch and the Koch brothers. I think wasn't DeSantis, he had like the most money in a Republican primary of all time. Like every billionaire tried to get rid of Trump and then kind of backtracked when they failed. Now Trump's suing Rupert Murdoch, right? And I found somebody on TikTok who made a really good video about this. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. A white guy saying exactly what I said.
Got another drip of information about the Epstein files and Trump from the Wall Street Journal. And I want to talk about what Rupert Murdoch is up to. Murdoch continues to promote Trump on Fox News, but in the Wall Street Journal, he's trying to bring Trump down. Why? It sounds like a contradiction, but I don't think it is. I think you need to think like Rupert Murdoch. Put your Rupert Murdoch cap on. That's what I'm going to do. Come join me. I'm Rupert Murdoch, a greedy billionaire Aussie who always thinks he's the smartest person in the room and thinks that Donald Trump is beneath him. What do? I can't stand Donald Trump, but I think I can get something out of him, manipulate him because he's not very smart. So I'm going to promote him to become president. And guess what? I'm so smart that I succeeded and I got what I wanted from Trump in 6 months. I got lower taxes, I got less regulation. But what is he doing for me now? He's ruining the economy. I'm going to lose money because of him, because of all these tariffs. What do I do now? Oh, I got an idea. I'll keep promoting Donald Trump on Fox News because the MAGA rubes are my source of revenue. I can't upset them. But those MAGA rubes who watch Fox News, they don't read my newspaper. In my newspaper, I'm going to start to go after Donald Trump. I'm going to try to bring Donald Trump down, replace him with someone who will listen to us billionaires and promote economic policies that will make us more money. J.D. Vance. With one hand, I'll make money on Fox by feeding pro-Trump stuff to the MAGA rubes. And with the other hand, I'll keep dripping out negative information about Donald Trump in the Wall Street Journal. Okay, I'm taking my Rupert Murdoch cap off. Good thing that, because I didn't like being that evil. But I think that's what Murdoch is doing. Making money from Fox and drip, 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 trying to take Trump down in the WSJ. Will Murdoch succeed? I don't know, but I do know there are a lot of billionaires out there who hate Donald Trump just as much as Murdoch does, and they're cheering him on. Okay, we just got to
Follow the money. They all backed DeSantis in the primary. Billionaires were not for Trump. Like that is the reality of what happened. And that's why Trump started making all those promises to the tech billionaires and to Elon Musk so that he could get the money he needed. I mean, that's the reality. And DeSantis is a terrible candidate. I mean, you backed the wrong horse. Like that you backed a limpy gazelle. You gave a limpy gazelle like $1 billion that he wasted. I mean, truly. And he's going to try again. That's the craziest thing. It's Ron DeSantis is gearing up to try to ruin everything again. It's fascinating to watch. Nobody wants you, Ron. It's over. Stop. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit out of order because I want to show. Wait, is that the? Yes. Okay. This is, sorry, I'm just making sure I don't start in the wrong place. Okay. This is the clip of Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney, not someone reporting on it, but her actual attorney talking yesterday.
We had a very productive day today with the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and Ghislaine Maxwell. First, we want to thank the Deputy Attorney General for being so professional with all of us and for meeting with us. He took a full day and asked a lot of questions, and Ms. Maxwell answered every single question. She never stopped, she never invoked a privilege, she never declined to answer. She answered all the questions truthfully, honestly, and to the best of her ability. And that's all the comment we're going to have today about the meeting. We don't want to comment about the substance of the meeting for obvious reasons, and we'll go from there. So thank you all so much.
Will you guys be coming back for a second?
Of course, I mean, of course, like she's probably demonstrating how many damning things she knows, so she gets her pardon. Like I'd be doing that too. Like that's probably, I mean, they're wondering the scope of her like damning information on Trump. I'm sure she did scare the absolute living shit out of them yesterday. And if you're not aware, because I think when I was talking about this the first time, there was only like 100 or 200 people in here. Todd Blanche, you know, Trump's defense lawyer in the Stormy Daniels trial, who's now the second in charge to Pam Bondi of the DOJ, went back today and had another conversation with Ghislaine Maxwell after whatever it is she said yesterday. And now they're reporting on Fox. I'll just show the clip again because it's not that long. I'll show the shorter clip because we don't need the recap of what we've already talked about. It's only like 40 seconds. And now they're reporting on Fox News that she is seeking a pardon. This is insane. We're going to pardon a child trafficker.
He's got the latest from Washington for us. So, David, what else did Maxwell's attorney say?
Well, he said a lot. We wish we could be in and hear what was said in the actual meeting. This meeting was a lot shorter than it was yesterday, but this was a two-day event. The highlight, though, it appears that her team wants a pardon. Watch.
We're going to take one day at a time. I know that's very cliche, but it's true because things are happening so quickly. We haven't spoken to the president or anybody about a pardon just yet. And you know, listen, the president this morning said he had the power to do so. We hope he exercises that power in the right and just way.
He's got the latest from Washington.
The right and just way would be to not pardon a child trafficker, in my opinion. But, you know, what do I know? He's never exercised pardons in the right and just way before. So why start now? That would be crazy. Oh, at some point too, by the way, I clipped the Hunter Biden interview. Hunter Biden. It was like a 3-hour interview. I went through and found all the relevant stuff. I don't think we'll have time for that today. Just saying, though. That's another thing I did. Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm going to the right. Oh, yes, here. I want to show this. So this came out this morning in addition. So every day there's more exclusive news. What just popped up? Sorry. I thought that was a puzzle piece, but it wasn't. More exclusive news is coming out. This is another article that came out in the New York Times this morning. So, breaking via the New York Times, the Times found another admiring note Donald Trump wrote to Jeffrey Epstein. To Jeff, you are the greatest. To a child trafficker, you are the greatest. Reads an inscription in a copy of Mr. Trump's book, Trump, The Art of the Comeback, that belonged to Mr. Epstein. Like, there's all sorts of things in the news that are coming out every second about this stuff. And if you want to, this is the corresponding article. If you're interested, it also is talking about that birthday book and who is possessing it. They reviewed other records of the president's friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, including an inscription in which the future president called him the greatest. Like, it's kind of just, I have clips that, oh, I forgot. I actually did screenshot this whole thing. It's not that, but if you want to look up that article, I'm not going to read us through the entire thing. But actually, I'm going to go through that, but not right now. I want to talk about that birthday book for a second. I think that, yeah, here it is. I want to talk about that book where Trump wrote that card and how it can be subpoenaed.
I want to go to that book because with your familiarity with evidence against Jeffrey Epstein, which you've collected a lot of through the discovery process, what do you know specifically about that book? Do you know that the estate, the relatives of Jeffrey Epstein, in effect through their lawyers, are in possession of that birthday book?
Yes, I know that the executors of the estate are in possession of that book. And I think that after they turn it over, it should probably be set in the Smithsonian as an artifact at this point in time. It's going to go down in history so that the world can see this book, and they'll know who were Jeffrey Epstein's best friends at the time, what letters did his family write to him, what other pictures are in there, things of that nature. Redact victim names, release the book, and move on. So that's it. Yes, the executors have it.
So you've just identified, not just for the news media, but obviously for House representatives who are now in a mood to subpoena, and also Todd Blanche and the Trump Justice Department, who suddenly are getting curious about investigating this. You've now told them exactly, according to your knowledge, where the birthday book is, who is in possession of that book. And all the House representatives would have to do tomorrow is write up a subpoena for that book, and you believe that it would be the lawyers involved would comply with that subpoena?
I know the executors' lawyers. I've worked with them for years. They're good people. They're good lawyers. They would comply with the subpoena immediately. It's something that we could solve this problem so quickly if people actually want to solve problems.
I want to go to that.
Word if people actually want to solve problems. And the Wall Street Journal also put out an exclusive article. Was that today? Sorry, time is blurring together in these weeks and days. Was that yeah. Oh yes. Okay, I did. It's in today's outline. Yeah, Wall Street Journal exclusive. Jeffrey Epstein's birthday book included letters from Bill Clinton, Leon Black, and talks about exactly what this guy is talking about. That it's being held by the executor of Epstein's estate, and they're very much willing to turn that book over to whoever wants it. Like if Congress wants to review it, whatever. And I've said, how many times have I said that? Not surprised in any way. Sorry, I'm just looking for the part. The former president was among around 6 people, including Donald Trump, Wall Street billionaire Leon Black, fashion designer Vera Wang, media owner Mort Zuckerman, who ended up with letters in the 2003 book. The letter bearing Trump's signature, which had the outline of a naked woman, was one of the more memorable pages, according to people involved in putting the album together. Yeah, I bet. The Wall Street Journal is writing yet. Oh, this is the quote from Caroline Leavitt in the article. The Wall Street Journal is writing yet another defamatory story about the president. Okay, God, do you have no shame? Oh, here's from left to right. These are people who wrote things in the book. Alan Greenberg, Leslie Wexner, that's the Victoria's Secret billionaire. Jean-Luc Brunel, that's the creepy the guy who was supplying girls through a modeling agency, if you know anything about the Epstein cases. Peter Mandelson, Jeffrey Epstein, James Jimmy Kane, Alan Dershowitz, Mort Zuckerman, Vera Wang. Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of these people are already known to be involved in this. Other people were grouped. Oh, okay. A business group. Okay, so this book is grouped by, there's a business group, which includes Alan Ace Greenberg and the late James Kane. Other people were grouped under categories such as science, Brooklyn, and family. Yeah, so apparently his estate is just saying we'll turn it over to whoever wants it, essentially. Assembling the album. Maxwell enlisted the help of assistants and others to assemble the album, according to people familiar with the process and people who received the invites. Maxwell requested drawings, photos, or stories from Epstein's associates to celebrate his 50th birthday. Some of the people who assisted on the project recalled seeing the Trump and Clinton pages among the documents at the time. The letters were taken to a New York City binder to create the calfskin album. Brad Edwards, a lawyer who represented more than 200 of Epstein's victims, said on MSNBC Wednesday evening that he has multiple clients who remember the birthday book. The existence of the book is an absolute fact. The letter from Dershowitz, who represented Epstein in the first criminal case. You know, the guy said he got a massage but kept his pants on, Alan Dershowitz, who Trump later hired as his own lawyer. The letter from Dershowitz, who represented Epstein in the first criminal case in the 2000s, included a mock-up of a Vanity Unfair magazine cover with mock headlines. It's been a long time, and I don't recall the content of what I may have written, Dershowitz said. Yeah, exactly. The letter from Wexner, who's the retail billionaire who owns limited brands, which includes Victoria's Secret. The letter from Wexner, the retail billionaire, contained a short message and a line drawing of what appeared to be a woman's breasts. Wexner declined to comment through a spokesperson about his letter. Wexner previously said he has cut ties with Epstein in 2007. Yeah, all this is a Wall Street Journal exclusive that came out, I think, yesterday. It is titled, if anyone wants to look it up, if you have Apple News, the Wall Street Journal is included in it. It's Jeffrey Epstein's birthday book, included letters from Bill Clinton, Leon Black. So, yay. Sorry, this is sickening, I know, but I just think it's good to bear witness to this disgustingness. Oh, yeah. And Ro Khanna was talking about how they can get access to the book in Congress. Thank you for the gift.
Been the driving force.
Oh,
the Epstein files released to the House. Does it sound like it's time to maybe move for a subpoena to get that book?
Yes, Lawrence. First of all, that was a bombshell revelation by Bradley Edwards. I appreciate your having me on to hear that. It's important what he said, that we have to center the victims in this. And it's important to hear what he believes the victims want, which is the full, complete release of the Epstein files. We're hearing directly that's what the victims want. Second, it is a revelation to me that he said that that birthday book is with private lawyers in the Epstein estate. As you know and reported earlier, Summer Lee showed courageous leadership today on the Oversight Committee. We subpoenaed the Epstein files, but that's a hard thing to do, to get the Department of Justice to cooperate in releasing those files. What's not hard to do is to subpoena private attorneys in a private estate and to get compliance. So I'm actually going to invite Bradley Edwards to meet with the House Oversight Committee, and I think we can easily move forward on this subpoena of that birthday book, and which could really advance this case.
And this has been the driving.
I mean, what does the release, or if Congress gets their hands on the birthday book, what does it do? Well, first of all, we can all see it firsthand. It becomes part of the congressional record, which is a primary source, right? Not a secondary source. I think the most important part is that Jeffrey Epstein's victims who've testified under oath, many of them are saying they know of that book, they've seen that book, and, they want every single piece of what haunts them to be made public. So I think that's part of it, right? We're going to build, unless we're talking about, don't get me wrong, like, the victims should absolutely be believed, and their depositions are in the Epstein files, and that's what we should see. But it's just part of the case, right? It's circumstantial evidence in building this case. Trump, I just want to point out, Donald Trump said that James Comey wrote the Epstein files. That is a lie. We now have all of these victims of Epstein. We have Epstein's former girlfriend saying in the presence of Epstein, and she called the FBI twice, that Trump groped her, right? And she has 3 corroborating witnesses and passed a lie detector test from the foremost like polygrapher in the country. Like, Trump has told lie after lie after lie. We now know through the Wall Street Journal that Trump was told in late April, early May that he was all over the Epstein files, and he continued to publicly perjure himself over and over and over at every single turn. So I think what's important is that every single document or piece of circumstantial evidence related to this case is collected and documented in the congressional record, which is a primary source, which is preserved for all time. I mean, that just comes from me, a history major who used to be a historical researcher. I mean, it's very important. Okay, I'm just sorry. I'm sickened when I look at the stuff I have to play. Sorry. It's just so many gross things I had to screen record today. I want to play just 2 accounts of this today, another one. And like I said, for the last 2 weeks, all sorts of victims have come out talking about their experiences, people saying, people are like, oh, why is it finally coming out Trump's in the Epstein files? Well, because so many people on record have proved, like, here's my record, like I reported Epstein and Trump to the FBI, like that's how we know that all of this is happening and it's now coming out. And Trump has lied about it all. So, to me, it's all important. This is Epstein survivor. Sorry, I don't want to get her name wrong. Teresa Helm, and on Trump possibly pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, nobody that I know, and like I said, I've watched every documentary, any court documents that are available, any witness statements, any lawsuits that have been filed. I've looked at them, and I don't think there is a person out there that does not say that Ghislaine Maxwell is as awful as Jeffrey Epstein.
Do you worry that Maxwell will be given some kind of leniency, maybe even a pardon? What would that mean to you?
I am concerned about that, and it would mean the complete crumbling of this justice system that should first and foremost stand for, fight for, and protect survivors. We all deserve a pathway to justice, and then we don't deserve to have it yet again robbed from us because so much has already been taken. It truly does seem, I should say, just an upside down world where you are promised and there are declarations of the judicial system working to support pathways to justice, and for them just to simply crumble is what it appears is happening right now.
Well, do you worry that there was another attorney who represents hundreds of survivors who told MSNBC that his clients remember this book and that some were actually pulled into putting that book together? Do you know anything about that book?
I do not know anything about that book, no. So their experience, clearly was different than mine. I saw framed photos of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein with presidents in their homes. I did not have anything to do with that book, no.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I can't remember her name, and I can't remember this journal reporter's name, but she's saying, like, hey, there are Epstein victims that are saying we were forced to help put that book together. Like, that's why it's important. It's evidence in a giant cover-up and conspiracy. It's circumstantial evidence that should be preserved in the congressional record, in my opinion, because I think it's very clear we have a very weaponized DOJ who works only for Donald Trump and is doing anything they can to cover this stuff up, period. And I just want to explain again, and I've gone through this over and over, Mike Johnson, in order to help Trump cover all this up, the House on recess early. Thank you so much for the giveaway sub, Lush, and I hate it. You're amazing. I appreciate you so, so much. They're working. They got 218 signatures for a discharge petition to force a vote to the House floor in order to release the Epstein files in their entirety. And Mike Johnson, in order to avoid that, dismissed the House a day early, right? We need 7 days for that petition to ripen, if you will. And I think he dismissed the House on the 6th day. So in September, we have the votes. We have the Republican votes joining with every Democrat in the House to force a vote on the House floor to release the files in their entirety. And for some reason, right, every Republican in the House voted against it. They voted it down in the Rules Committee. And yesterday, even though insider trader Mark Wayne Mullen, the senator from Oklahoma, keeps lying and pretending he wants the Epstein files released, he's counting on MAGA being dumb, right? I saw him post actually, I think I took a screenshot because it's so annoying. So just to clarify that Mark Wayne Mullen is not insulting my intelligence, because I can read court documents and congressional amendments and resolutions. I know he's lying, but he's pretending, right? Because he's scared. Just know this is the second time. Yesterday was the second time that Senator Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma blocked the release of the Epstein files in the Senate. It has been him both times. And in order to try to run cover, then he's like, oh, I'm now presenting this resolution and it's to release the grand jury testimony. Knowing grand jury testimony means nothing. Like, we've gone over this. It's literally probably 5% of the 330 plus gigabytes. It's nothing. It's to get an indictment against Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. That is not going to be the client list or any of the information that we actually need. It's just running cover for Donald Trump. The person who had presented a resolution to release all of the Epstein files, similar to what Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna are pushing in the House, was the junior senator from my state, Arizona, Ruben Gallego. And I just want to show everyone this because Mark Wayne Mullen is lying all over the internet and TV and pretending he's not doing what he's doing.
And calling the Justice Department to release these files. It is that simple. If there's nothing to hide, then come out and prove it. As if in legislation, and notwithstanding Rule 22, I ask unanimous consent of the Committee on Judiciary be discharged from further consideration and instead now proceed to consideration of SR 325. Further, I ask unanimous consent that the resolution be agreed to, the preamble be agreed to, and that the motions to consider be considered made and laid upon the table with no intervening action or debate.
Is there objection?
Mr. President,
The senator from Oklahoma is recognized.
I reserve the right to object. As we hear my colleague from Arizona use, I'd say, very liberal truths to what he was saying by not giving all the facts, I'd also propose a question: where was all this outrage over the last 4 years when Director Wray was over the FBI and Attorney General Garland was over the DOJ?
I can answer that question because I watch every single congressional hearing and I follow Congress. So yes, while Joe Biden was president and Chris Wray was running the FBI and Merrick Garland was running the DOJ, Merrick Garland is a Republican that did everything in his power to protect Donald Trump. And prior to Trump doing a fascist authoritarian takeover of America, the DOJ and the presidency, there was a complete separation. That's how it used to be in America, right? It would be considered, if Joe Biden was directing investigations or telling the DOJ who to indict or what files to release, in the past, he would be persecuted for it, right? Like, you'd impeach a president who was doing that. Now, you guys are apparently okay with Trump saying, Pam Bondi's just another person in my cabinet. If you don't know how America has been run up until Trump's authoritarian takeover, that was unbelievably wrong, right? There was a separation between the person running the DOJ, because no president should be using their political power and the bully pulpit and the executive branch to direct the judicial branch, right? To direct investigations, to direct the release of files, because you could release files for, political reasons or as revenge or whatever. So Joe Biden had nothing to do with that. Now, just to answer this, yeah, in the House, the Republicans were controlling the House, right? And they were trying to impeach Joe Biden. They were doing the Twitter hearings. Everything that was going on was basically the Democrats, which I don't like this. This is part of what I don't like about the Democrats. They were on the defensive, right? They're trying to run cover for Joe Biden, defend Kamala Harris, right? Stop these impeachment hearings, handle all the lies about Hunter Biden. That's what was going on. I watched every hearing. You know that. And again, Donald Trump ran on releasing these files. So I just want to say it is so disingenuous. Again, if Donald Trump was doing the right thing, he'd be like, separation of the DOJ and the executive branch. I can't direct Pam Bondi to do anything. That's how our country used to run before the authoritarian takeover, right? That's not what's happening anymore. Donald Trump's like, she's just another person in my cabinet and I tell her what to do. So again, Joe Biden never ran on that, but also we would have considered it unconstitutional and wrong if he was directing the DOJ to do anything. Trump has famously directed the DOJ to do everything, even in his first term. That's why people were resigning, because they thought it was unconstitutional what Bill Barr was doing, who Bill Barr was indicting, who was getting pardons, who was being targeted, who was being fired. This was a whole thing in his first term, and now it is 1,000 times worse. MAGA apparently doesn't have a problem with Trump controlling and using the DOJ for political unconstitutional revenge. So, yeah, that's the answer, Mark Lane Mullen. And again, Trump promised to release these files. I just want to be clear. What we can't get away from is that every Democrat voted to release these files in the Senate, in the House, in the Rules Committee twice. Every single Democrat has voted to release the files. Trump said, which, I saw Midas Touch was screenshotting some of this. They were going back years, Trump ran on Joe Biden. Is it the Epstein files? Hunter Biden's in the Epstein files, all of that. That's what Trump ran on. So I don't know. I don't know why now you guys are pretending you don't want them released. You said you did before. Every Democrat, if we were covering something up, why is every Democrat voting? Overwhelmingly, everyone in this country, I think it's 91% of the country, and in some polls even higher, want the Epstein files released in their entirety, want congressional hearings about them. I just want to be clear. Republicans control the House. They control the Senate. They control the judiciary. They control the Supreme Court, and they control the executive branch. The only people that can get justice for these kids are the Republicans. The only people who have unanimously voted to stop these children from getting justice are the Republicans, over and over and over. Well, yeah, people. Oh God, I don't have time to explain congressional votes, but not everyone votes all the time, right? It's not abstaining. It just depends. If you're not there and you don't vote, yeah, there's always some people who don't. Maybe they're not there, but everyone who voted, every Republican who voted in lockstep to not release the files. Now that there has been so much blowback from MAGA, right? I was playing these clips yesterday. We've had, let's see, we have 200. Sorry, I'm just doing the math in my head. If everyone's present, right? I think we have 211 Democrats. So we need 7 Republicans, which we have. I think we have more than 7 Republicans now. I think we have 8 or 9 that are voting with us to release the files. That is why Mike Johnson had to put the House on recess because the discharge petition was going to ripen. We needed 218 signatures. We collected them. If you're like, what the hell is the point of a discharge petition? Normally, to get a vote on the House floor, it has to go through the Rules Committee. Mike Johnson has all his cronies blocking the Rules Committee and blocking the votes going to the floor. So a discharge petition gets us around the Rules Committee to vote on the House floor. When Mike Johnson saw that that was going to happen, he put the House in recess early, and they have the whole month of August off. So when we get back in September, this vote is going to happen. And who knows? This is why Trump is having these secret meetings now with Ghislaine Maxwell and trying to shore things up now, because we know for a fact his name's all over the Epstein files. He lied about it this entire time. He lied, MAGA. We know for sure. He said, I'm not in there. We know. And we know from April, he was informed by his own attorney general that he was all over the Epstein files. And he is on camera lying pathologically over and over and over to your faces about that. And now he's engaged in some crazy cover-up and tried to reduce the damage of it and get Ghislaine Maxwell on side, which that's how bad it must be. Because I think, and Dale, I muted Dale, but Dale said it, like, it would be crazy to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. So think about that. I agree with Dale. It would be crazy. So how guilty is he? Do you know what I'm saying? How much does she know that it is better for his political career to pardon a child trafficker than to allow her to tell the truth? Yeah, I'm sorry. If anyone's like, yeah, Dale is David, same person. He changed his name. But yeah, he's MAGA. He loves Trump. Well, he did. Now he wants JD Vance. But yeah, I mean, that's the reality. It would be suicide not literal, but, political unaliving for anyone to pardon a child trafficker who's been documented as part of this. Like, they abuse these kids together. This is stated in court documents. And it's better for him to pardon her. I think that, or to consider it, because, that's terrifying. But also, I don't really want to hear from her personally. I just don't know if if I trust her. I think the best thing is to release the files and all of the information that is had, the 330 gigabytes. And that way, if she tries to lie or whatever, or obfuscate or tell some weird tale, we have the primary documents to corroborate with, to compare and contrast. Like, that's the most important thing. I don't think anyone should believe her. Like, she's like, her lawyer's implying she's a victim. Like, I don't even want to hear it personally. Yeah, I don't know. But Mark Wayne Mullen is trying, I just want to show you, this is him yesterday trying to be like, I just asked for unanimous consent to pass an Epstein resolution calling for full transparency and all files to be released. That's a lie. That's a pathological lie. I have all of the clips. His resolution asked for grand jury testimony. Ruben Gallego's resolution was all of files. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, MAGA, blocked the release of the files twice in the Senate this week. It is on tape. So why would he be lying? Why would insider trader Mark Wayne Mullen be lying? He's very comfortable with it. It's something he does a lot. But that's the reality of what's going on. Like, we have a lot of people obfuscating, lying. Oh, I wanted to play this clip of Hunter Biden because I clipped that interview. I'm not going to play all of the clips I clipped, but the section where he's talking about Epstein, I wanted to play.
I think that his choice to not release the files was because there's not much of interest on there, or because he's compromised in some capacity by what's in the files?
I don't know. I truly can only go by what other people are saying. And one of the things that I'm certain of is that what I said before is kind of the Occam's razor, which is that, the simplest explanation is almost always true. And what's the simplest explanation is that of anyone in power right now, or anyone that held power to the degree that Donald Trump is holding power now, his connections to Jeffrey Epstein are beyond a doubt that he and Epstein were very close friends for a very long period of time. They spent an enormous time together. They spent an enormous time together around young women, as in his own words.
Trump's got more pictures with Epstein than I do with my own grandma.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just think about this. Is when Ghislaine, how do you pronounce
It's technically Ghislaine.
Ghislaine.
I know that.
Yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell is when she gets convicted, and he's asked about it. And this is when he was president, 2020 still. And he goes, I wish her well.
I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well.
And then he explains that comment. Like, she's a good person, and I wish her well. Now, she's just been convicted of sex trafficking and, dozens and dozens of teenage girls. When he's then pressed on it in an interview after that, he says, I wish her well. I wish everyone well. I don't wish anyone harm. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
He can't wish anyone well on Christmas morning without sending out a tweet or Truth Social or
like Merry Christmas to all the freaks and liberals and liars and shitbags. Like, he's never wished a person well. Wait, what did I do? Oh God, I don't know. Okay. Ugh. I think I need to end the live. I don't want to be banned for a week, and I just got like 3 violations, and they seem pretty. Who am I harassing? I don't think I said anything that bad, but I literally just got 3 violations that popped up at the same time, and I don't want to get banned for a week because I literally feel like it's like my voice gets taken away and I panic. Yeah, no, people like restart. I would restart the live, but I can only do a live for like 2 hours and 30 minutes today. I have an appointment later. So, and based on that, I'm because I don't know if anyone's heard this, but actually Hunter Biden's about to start yelling the F word and saying a lot of crazy things. This interview, if you haven't seen this, like it's wild. I mean, he basically yells for 3 hours. I have clips. I'll show you guys like at a later date, like, because it's actually, I've never seen Hunter Biden like this. It's hilarious. Are there new community guidelines? Well, I mean, I saw the update, but I haven't read them. But I don't think I've done anything that has violated the community guidelines today. I mean, that I know of. If I didn't yesterday, the day before, I didn't today. That's what I mean. I didn't get any. The things I was playing yesterday have been way worse than what I played today. Yeah, but I just don't want to be banned for a week because that's the worst. That is like when I get really upset. So, okay, I'm just gonna end the live because I got 3 violations in a row, and they're like, we're gonna demonetize your live. So, yeah. I've seen these type of violations. These ones are serious. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye.